I was reminded today about this week about grace, the word grace. It's not a great word. Like, I don't really apply, like, I don't think like I'm super graceful. I think people that are graceful are kind of boring, like the ballerinas. Like, they're kind of cool, but the opera, like, that's super graceful. I don't really fall into that category, but I was just reminded about this word. It's so powerful in the context of God's grace. And so grace is kind of this unearned merit. Like, you don't deserve this, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. So has anybody rented a car? Yeah, they give you a grace period of about 1 hour. So they're not going to charge you an extra day if you come in this certain time area. I got a phone call in my early recovery. I was probably about 6 months sober. My recovery was a train wreck that took everything from everybody, their patience, their loves, and probably most of their finances. My addiction. And so I'm about 6 months sober, coming out off the homeless shelter back home. And some of the consequences is I owed money to certain places. One of them was MTO. They don't joke around. You have a license. They called me and they say you owe $1,000. And I said, okay, that's like, thank you for calling me. Didn't know that was outstanding. We will take your license away if you don't pay it. And I'm like, I got this. I think, I don't even know if I had a job right then. I was just volunteering. And they said it's $1,000 and you have to pay it all at once. And I said, okay, well, great. I'll come down right now and I'll give you $200. I'm sure I could rustle that up. And they said, okay, you can give me the $200. You have today to get the $1,000 or you lose your license until you pay the $1,000. And then you have to take a test. And so I said, in my shape, no one's going to give me $1,000. And I made a phone call. It was humbling to Vicky's grandfather. And he said he would give me $1,000. I was looking to borrow it and he gave it to me. And that was grace. I didn't deserve that. I didn't earn it. I was a dirtbag. I suffered the consequences of the choices of my life, and he gave me the grace to be able to keep my license. Why I was reminded of this is we were watching a TV show, and it's called House of David. And the chosen people of God, the Israelites, they were guided by prophets. They were guided by God. That's how we're made, to be guided by God. And so the people wanted to be like everybody else, all the other kingdoms, and they wanted a king. They wanted a representation. And so God anointed a man named Samuel, and he became the king. He sat on the throne. He ruled the people. Saul, what did I say? Samuel the prophet anointed. Thank you. Those are important. Dyslexia. Yeah, that's how mine works. And so Saul was anointed by the prophet Samuel from God, and he took the throne and he ruled the people, but he owned his own throne. He wanted to own everything. It was his. It wasn't God's anymore. So the progression of that, he got a consequence that he lost the anointing of God. And it was just fascinating to look at that in the context of addiction. And so if you are somebody that suffers from substance abuse, that you're unable to separate yourself from the drugs, the alcohol, the relationships, the phone, the pornography, whatever it is, you don't have that ability to separate yourself from that. You need God's grace. And the beautiful thing about our program is that we come in on grace, but we need to continue in relationship. And so if that's you today, I had the grace of God for about 6 months. And I was delivered from all of my substances. I was at a homeless shelter and I went through this program and I got reunited at home, and an old buddy called me because he owed me money for a car rental. Grace. So I met him at a pub, and I sat down at this pub. He was all proud of me. He looked at me. He's like, oh, wow, you look a lot better than you did about 8 months ago, last time I saw you. And the first thing I did, I ordered a beer for both of us. And it was just a habit. I was defenseless over that. And as soon as I touched it to my lips, I felt something leave me. And I believe that was God's grace, because I was sitting in the wrong place with the wrong person, and the anointing and the grace of God left me. because I didn't pursue that relationship, I pursued this relationship, and I took the throne back on my own life. And it was scary. I didn't know what I was experiencing because I had this spirit come in here and I had another spirit leave me. And it was a spirit of peace and of protection, of acceptance, of purpose. And it just left me, and it worried me right then and there. But I'm with my tough dude that hasn't seen me in about 8 months. And so I had a bender that night, and 3 days later or 2 days later, but God's grace is always there for when I wanted to come back. And so the program of action through the 12 steps, if you are somebody that's been, had God's grace, it's separated, but you never moved into that relationship and you're constantly relapsing over and over, really have a relationship like you did with drugs and alcohol that you need with God. But God's grace is always going to come back once you want it again. And so I just want to encourage you with that.